name is Caroline, and on behalf of Waterstones, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to what's going to be an exceptional evening. I feel honoured to be able to welcome a very special woman to the stage tonight. In 2015, Kavita suffered a subarachnoid hemorrhage, a sudden bleed surrounding the surface of the brain with life-changing consequences for her and her family. I myself became aware of Kavita just a few months ago when I found out about her book. Since then, I've learned much more about the incredible journey that she has been on in the last 4 years. And I've been utterly moved by her experience of coping with what's happened. I've been truly inspired by her ability to turn her experience to the positive, her work with the Brain and Spine Foundation, and her determination to share her experience with others, both those who share her condition and for others to learn what the experience of suffering a brain injury is like. This is a really important book, and I'm sure many of you will have read it already. I know there's lots of family and friends here tonight. I hope that all of you get the opportunity to read it. And tonight is a celebration of its publication. Please can you all give a really warm welcome to Kavita.
I started to lose my mind, being confined to my bedroom, dressing room and bathroom. I was afraid to go near the stairs, but my terrifying thoughts made me feel like I needed to get out of my bedroom. Lying down on the pillow hurt my head. Sitting up in bed hurt my head. Talking too loud hurt my head. What if I have another aneurysm? What if the drain comes out? What if my stitches come loose and blood gushes out? I tried to distract myself with phone messages and TV, but every time I watched anything more than a few minutes, I got a feeling similar to the motion sickness I'd felt in Deepak's car on the way home from hospital. And when I tried to look at messages, I quickly got a headache. Though all the well wishes made me want to get better quicker. I needed to get out of my bedroom. I called my mother-in-law on the intercom. "Mum, can you please help me downstairs?" "Are you sure, Kavi?" she asked, sounding worried. "Maybe we should wait for Deepak to come home." "I want to surprise him and the children," I said. "Please help me." She came upstairs and held my arm as we steadily walked towards the banister. When we got to the stairs, I looked down and grabbed the railing with my free hand, the other still holding on to Mum. I managed to get down one step, joining my feet together before attempting the next. But on my third step, I was too tired to continue and turned around. I wasn't going to be able to surprise Deepak and the kids today. Mum walked me back to my bed and I fell asleep for hours. Sitting in my dressing room, I took a brush to my hair and large chunks came out, alarming me. My hair had been falling out for a while and I was terrified of losing more. I'd always had long hair. I wondered if I should cut it short as a sort of fresh start. I looked at my face in the mirror. I'd suffered from slight acne most of my adult life and was always trying creams and masks and getting facials. And during my hospital stay, my skin had been beautiful and I hoped it would stay that way. But already I was getting lumps and spots around my face and neck again. I wondered if I was allergic to something in our house. It was bad enough my hair falling out, but now I was looking like a spotty teenager. As I got up, I took my clothes off to step in the shower. I looked in the mirror opposite the vanity and was horrified. I looked like a child. I could see my bones through my skin. I quickly looked away. I had to put on weight. How could I let anyone see me in this way? My posture was terrible too. My shoulders were hunched and my head and neck pushed forward. My self-confidence was shattered. I didn't want to look at myself in the mirror, and I knew this wasn't a good thing. I'd been through so much, it was important to be good to myself and gentle. For now, I would be happy with getting all of the hospital off me. The smell. So, I mean, a lot of you know already, but just for people who don't know me, I'm Kavita Bassi, and on the 17th of March 2015, I suffered a subarachnoid brain hemorrhage. Now, that was a shock to my family. It was a shock to me that had actually happened, because I was a healthy individual and used to eat healthily, exercise regularly, and still, you know, that did happen to me, and I was 38 years old at the time. I came home from work with a headache, and it was just a normal headache, and I took 2 aspirin, and that probably helped me. It probably helped save my life, taking those aspirin, but it wasn't anything different than a normal headache anyone would have, you know, after a bit of stress at work. So that evening I woke up at 11 p.m. at night, and it felt as though a sledgehammer had gone through the back of my skull, right through my head, and I woke up screaming, really screaming, because I didn't know what had happened. And I tried to wake my husband up, and he was in a daze. He didn't really know what was going on. And I actually got up off the bed. I looked around, even looked at my body to see if something was bleeding. I couldn't see anything. And I was still screaming, and I said, something's wrong. And I ran around the room, and then suddenly I had a seizure and collapsed. And after that, I didn't remember anything for 6 weeks. So anything that I've put in my book and anything that I've written about has been what things my friends and family have told me, but also my husband recorded me in hospital nearly every day. So I've taken a lot of inspiration from that as well. Now, 12 million people in the UK suffer from neurological conditions. That's 1 in 6 people. You know, that's quite a high statistic. And that covers stroke, MS, epilepsy, and some of the rarer ones like a subarachnoid hemorrhage. Now, a subarachnoid hemorrhage is 50% mortality, and people that survive it, probably 40% of those can't walk, can't see properly, have hearing difficulties, and other kind of problems, and serious brain damage. So I feel very lucky standing here today, and that's why I continue my mission on trying to raise awareness for neurological conditions. I had 4 operations. The first one was to stabilise the bleed and secure the bleed. The second one I had was to add a coil to the aneurysm, which you know, it's quite a common surgery that people do. Not people, doctors do. Do people. It's quite a common surgery. And the third one I had, basically while I was in hospital, 10 days after the second operation, I experienced another seizure, and it was a seizure that was going to turn into a stroke, and I was paralysed from the whole of my left side of my body, and they had to take me back into ICU and do another procedure, which was attaching a drain to my brain because the fluid was building up on the brain and they had to relieve that fluid. So that was my third operation, and thankfully my husband, who's over there, was feeding me at the time, and he caught it, and I managed to get seen to quite quickly. I wouldn't be standing here today if he wasn't there. And the last operation that I had was to insert a shunt. So I always laugh about it that I'm part robot, because I've got a machine inside my head here, which is connected to my bladder, and yeah, that is helping my brain function because it doesn't function by itself. some of the immediate effects that I've experienced, and I know that others who have suffered neurological conditions have also had the same, that short-term memory loss. I still have that. That's, oh my God. Severe headaches, hearing issues, vision problems. I could not listen to cutlery being used in my home. I couldn't sit with my family and have dinner because I couldn't take the sound of the cutlery being used. Sorry.
You're okay.
Yeah. But you know what? I slowly, what I used to do was I used to put the music on in the background very low, and every day I'd turn it up a little bit. So I tried to train myself in listening to sounds again. So it was really, really hard. I used to sit at the dinner table and probably vomit about 6 or 7 times while I was sitting there, and it was quite hard for my kids to see what I was going through as well. I had issues with fatigue, so if I brushed my teeth, I had to go to sleep for 2 hours. It was just exhausting. Going up and down the stairs, I would sleep for 4 hours. I had to again build up that strength again, and people don't realise that it's not just my illness, it's any illness that anyone goes through after, having an operation, what goes on your body. To have that fatigue is quite common. It's quite common for a lot of people. And I had to build that up again. I also suffered from high anxiety. Now, anxiety is, people talk about it's been Mental Health Awareness Week, and there's been a lot of things said about that, which is great to raise awareness, but high anxiety comes from trying to think about too many things at once, or trying to do too many things at once, and sometimes it's okay to just step back and say, right, I just can't do it. I can only do these 1 or 2 things, and that's what I'm going to do today, and it's fine. It's fine. And that's what I've learned now, but at the time it just became quite difficult for me because I was a working mum. I used to travel everywhere. I used to do so many things. I used to multitask, and suddenly I'm this person who can only do 1 or 2 things, and it was quite hard for me to grasp that. But I've only been able to grasp that because I went to therapy. I went to the Priory for 6 weeks, and that really, really helped me. I have neuropsychology, and I still go to neuropsychology every month because it just keeps me in check. And if I have any issues, I love going to neuropsychology. The doctor is really, really good, and it's like a let go mechanism. So I sit there and I just sort of tell him everything, and then that's it. I come back away a lot freer and a lot happier. So it's just important that if you have got anything going on, just talk to someone and just get the help, because actually you feel better. Because look at me standing here today. If I didn't do all of those things, I don't think I'd be as confident in being able to speak about it. And also, I don't know if anyone saw, there was the Royal Team talk that Prince William did on Sunday, which was great to raise that awareness about mental health. My later stage effects have been still short-term memory loss that has not changed. And I used to go to the doctor and say, is that going to improve? And he said, no, that's just the new you. So you just have to deal with it. But I keep a diary. I write things on my phone. I think some people are a little bit forgetful anyway, so that's how I think now. I just think that I'm just that person who's just a little bit more forgetful. So my phone is my best friend. Don't listen to anyone who says technology is bad. Technology is really good. because I suffer from short-term memory loss, sometimes I forget where I've been and I can't remember where my car is. So, you know, I take a photograph of it now so I know where it is. And, you know, things like that, the film is really helpful. I still suffer from anxiety. I did have low self-confidence, but the therapy and CBT therapy has really helped. One thing that did happen is I became this whole new person. My personality changed. And the doctors basically said that any impact on the brain, whether it's a car accident or if it's neurological or, you know, anything that impacts the brain, it causes it to split, meaning you only see everything black and white and you lose that middle ground. And it's quite funny because my family, when they're telling me a joke, I don't really get it. I'm not really understanding the joke. So they will say to me, "Mummy, this is the inside joke," and then they'll tell me the joke. So then I'll be ready to laugh because they've told me that they're telling me the joke. So that's just like change, but it's quite funny because my husband also says, I was married to someone for 18, 19 years and now I'm married to someone else. I just said it keeps you excited. I also had, are you okay? I also had a lot of support from the Brain and Spine Foundation charity. They're an amazing charity that help family carers, patients, friends, anyone that needs help. You can pick up the phone, you can call them. I've left a few leaflets and things there on that table, but you can pick them up and you can call them and they will direct you to, you know, where you need to go. So if you need help with finding out someone near you that can help you with anxiety, they will tell you. Or if you need help with getting information about neurological conditions, you know, they'll also do that. They're a great charity and they have supported me all the way through, and I'm proud to be a community ambassador for them as well. If you do buy my book, or if you have bought it, thank you. But 10% of the profits go to the Brain and Spine Foundation charity, so it's continuing that support and it's continuing that awareness raising. I'm also doing the Holistic Yoga Festival in Manchester. I'm one of the main speakers there, which is on the 27th and 28th of July. So if anyone's been to Manchester and likes yoga and meditation, meditation's been great for me because it's made me a lot calmer. So yeah, I'm doing that as well. And yes, thank you very much. I think I've said everything that I've got here, but thank you everyone so much, and thank you to Waterstones as well for letting me talk about my experience today.
Just before, are you still on medication? Any medication? Not at all. That's wonderful.
I only take aspirin when I have a headache coming on, but I'm not on any
And is that to
medication
keep
now.
your blood thinning as well?
No, I just take it if I've just got a headache.
And this shunt you got in your head, do you feel it at all?
Yeah, I feel a little bit heavier on this side. But that's it. But I'm used to it now. Yeah, it was hard in the beginning, but yeah.
But it's amazing, you've done very well.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm just taking as well. I had a totally different type of thing after me. I had a brutal car accident when I was 17. I had massive brain injuries and multiple ones. But I've never heard anyone describe the experience exactly the same as I had it. No one had ever described it the way you just did. It's exactly the same as what I went through, so that's quite helpful that someone else understands.
Well, I hope it has been helpful.
Yeah,
And,
it's massive helpful because I didn't think no one understood it properly. When I try and describe it, I'm not the most eloquent speaker, so I don't really get it across that well.
And I always say that it's really good to share what you're thinking and how you're experiencing